Potatoes.
That's what I wrote.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes. Hands down, potatoes. You know what?
I love potatoes.
Yes, and they're so versatile, right? It's not just, a
I
potato.
know.
No, you can eat them as French fries. You can eat them as hash browns. You can eat them as a baked potato. You can eat tater tots.
Everything.
Yeah, just,
Ugh,
that's awesome. Mashed
so
potatoes.
good.
Hello, and welcome to Morning Coffee, episode 10. Guys, we made it to number 10.
Double digits.
This is awesome. At least we think it is. So we're going to do something extra special to celebrate our 10th episode. Carolina, do you want to tell them what we're going to do?
Yeah, so in this episode, we're kind of just going to do, get to know you questions. Because even though we've known each other forever, we don't know everything about each other. So in this episode, we're just kind of trying to get to know each other better and then have you guys get to know us as well.
Right. And so a lot of these are very thought-provoking things you probably wouldn't ask on a daily basis. So when you bring this kind of stuff up, it almost allows you to dig a little deeper. And of course, like always, our episodes are focused on our research and what we learn about so that you can also learn about it too. And so what better way to, I guess, get to know your host a little bit more by them getting to know each other a little bit more. So it's all fun and games. And as always, leave us reviews, leave us likes, leave us comments. Just all the good stuff.
Find a way to engage.
Yes. Please and thank you. So, what we're going to do is just kind of go down a list of questions that we had.
Okay.
So the first one is...
Where do you want to travel the most?
All right. I had a really hard time with this one because I kept picking a location and I'm like, oh, and then this one, and then this one. So, I think for me... this is probably a lame answer, but for me, it really is anywhere and everywhere. If I get the opportunity to go to some place, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eventually, obviously, there's a lot of people who aspire to travel the world, and some people really do get to. But for me, it's not I have to be at one place over the other. I, at some point, want to equally be able to travel everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's kind of mine. I mean, to me, I just want to, I want to explore different cultures. I want to taste their food. I want to be able to experience that even for a short period of time. So for me, it's anywhere. What about you?
I have two different answers for this because there's my travel goals and then somewhere if I had the full financial support to go to and be there for a while. The one place I would go is London. If you're pick one spot, it would be London. I've always had this weird fascination with London.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I think it's all the British shows I watch.
Okay.
They make it seem cool. But
yeah.
if it's one of my travel goals is to literally travel through each state. And I have this weird thing that started in Texas where I was in Austin, which is the capital, obviously. And so I was with my friend and we were walking in downtown at night, which don't do, it's not safe. But I kind of want to walk through the downtown area of every single state capital.
Okay.
And so that's kind of one of the things, if I could travel, that's the one thing I'd want to do.
Okay, that's cool.
It's a really specific thing, but
nice. No, that's really cool. I'm just all over the place. All right.
Sorry, I had to yawn. That was a really big yawn.
Did you have a second part to it, or did you already say that second part?
Was it? Oh yeah, it was that
the states.
Travel the states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Next question is, what's the one thing most people don't know about you?
I mean, I think some people do, so it's not they don't know this, especially my family, but I have an extreme passion for writing. I always tell people in another life, I would be a published author. Like, that's always been something, I don't know. I love it. Not everybody also knows that the movie script I wrote, and, you know, we filmed and everything like that, which is still in the works. Okay, people. So if you're listening to this and you heard me go on about this movie, like, I'm still editing it. It's in the works, but, yeah, I think it's like my writing passion, and like it going beyond like, oh, I just like to write just because. Like, I've actually written stuff, and I've kept things that I've written in my childhood. And I would journal all the time, or if you want to call it a diary. I have like volumes, like literally like just, you know, of when I was younger, and then just kind of growing up. And I don't actually like journal like about my life now, but I do a lot of like creative writing when I get inspired. So that's just, I think, something that maybe a lot of people don't, or maybe I don't talk a lot about it, but it is something that I'm very passionate about. So
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like I'm just an open book, and I don't hide a lot of things from people. I'm like, look at this. But, I mean, when you brought up, like, if you could do anything in your second life, that, it just kind of triggered something. I was like, if I could do something, like, in another life, it was like, I had the possibility to do this. I think it would be acting.
Yeah?
Like, I think that'd be fun to do.
Well,
I don't know, like, I've always wanted to be, like, one of the things on my bucket list is to be, like, an extra in a movie or
well,
show.
You were in my movie.
Okay.
No, but let me tell you, it's so interesting that you say this, because, like, I actually today watched one of the scenes that was done, and you're good. Like, you're good.
Wait, is it the one where I yell?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
It's actually the one where we're together and we're all drinking tea. And then we're talking. It's like one of the very early scenes. Yeah. But, yeah, it was that one. And so, again, I know we're kind of talking about this because we know what's going on. People who are listening who don't know about this are probably thinking, like, what in the world? But, yes, so the movie script that I created, so Carolina was actually in my movie. I was in my own movie against my will. But it's funny that you say that, because I always tell myself, like, okay, cool, like, what if I do get into acting? Like, it's crossed my mind, but then I think if I had to choose, would I rather be behind the scenes writing and, like, you know, being able to be involved in that, or be on the spotlight, like acting? I always choose the writing part over it. So it's interesting that you say that. You're, like, on the opposite, right? Like, to you, the acting.
I don't want to say, like, I crave attention, because I like to be behind the scenes. Like, that's what I'm good at. Like, I'm great behind the scenes. But, I mean, I think it'd be cool to be able to act and, like, bring people's stories to life and stuff, where people can see it on the screen, and I think that'd be really interesting. And so, I don't know. And then, I remember we were filming a scene, and I had to yell in your movie. Yeah. And I yell sometimes, but most people that see me, I'm not really mean in person. And so, I think when I yelled, when you guys called the cut or whatever, everybody was like, whoa, I've never seen you like that
side of you, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, hi, sorry.
Yeah. No, but that's the best part. Then this is what I was talking to Costo about, which is the person who directed the movie. We were talking about this, and we're like, you know, one of the best parts of this whole experience was being able to see how each one of the actors, which, you know, again, nobody was professional, but in reality, it's like just the way you guys took on this character and just made it your own, or for like a split second turned into somebody else, like, for the sake of the movie. And then, you know, it's kind of cool how you can just, like, warp back to you, who you are. But for a split second, or in that scene, you get to pretend, or you get to be somebody else, or be this character, and, like you said, bring it to life. And I think that's awesome. I think we should probably make this a whole other episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's because I watched a lot of TV, but I'm like, I feel like that'd be something that would be really fun to do. And then, like, in middle school, you have to, like, pick, like, what your extracurricular activity was, whatever, your arts. Thing.
Your fine arts.
I picked, like, speech and theater, and I had a lot of fun with that. I mean, I wasn't great, but I did do competitions and stuff, and I placed in a few of these things, but I wasn't great.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool. I'll just keep writing more stories, more characters for you then.
Yeah, so I can act.
There you go. We'll make our second life our first life.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Potatoes.
That's what I wrote.
Yes. Hands down, potatoes. You know what?
I love potatoes.
Yes, and they're so versatile, right? You can, it's not just, a
I
potato.
know.
No, you can eat them as French fries. You can eat them as hash browns. You can eat them as a baked potato. You can eat them. Tater tots.
Everything.
Yeah, just,
Ugh,
that's awesome. Mashed
so
potatoes.
good. Potatoes in any kind of form are delicious.
Yes, I don't discriminate against potatoes. They are the best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean,
love it.
but there's probably not very much nutritional value to it, but whatever, you know? Who cares?
Those
They
calories
are
don't count.
always the main. They're the main dish. Even
Yeah.
if they don't think they are. They are.
They're the star of the show.
They're the star of the show, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, next question. If you were going to get a tattoo, what would you choose and why?
Okay, so I think, to be honest with you, I think if I was forced to, because, well, I guess maybe this is another thing. I'm afraid of needles. I don't like them. I don't like, even if the whole, like our artistic part of it, like, you know, part of it was just, like, so great to be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't do the needles. Like, I'm not going to poke myself. I can't. Like, the whole concept really doesn't, I can't. But if I, you know, did, I think for me, it would have to be, like, small and simple. I think it would be a symbol. It would have to be something that, like, meant something greater. You know what I mean? Like, not like a whole art show or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, literally just one small thing that would just be meaningful to me. You know, just that it's something like, okay, I see it and it's meaningful and that's it. Nothing like drastic or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of always wanted one, but I have this thing where, like, I could never commit to, like, what it would be.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what if I like this now and then, like,
later,
2 years later, I'm like, ugh, I can't believe I got this on my arm. I can never take it off.
Uh-huh.
Or, like, it's too expensive to take off. And it's not worth it.
Right.
So I've always been like, I think it'd be a great, cool thing to have. But I know I'm not going to stick with it for that long.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to get something, my siblings have actually talked about getting a, like, sibling tattoo or family tattoo.
Oh, okay.
And so I would do that with them, or I would just get my favorite verse, like, tattooed.
Okay.
And then just something like, literally
the reference.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And, like, that's it.
Gotcha.
But, like, it would have to be small, because I don't know what my pain threshold is.
Right.
And I know those hurt like crazy.
Or at
but
least.
here's the thing, like, I wouldn't mind getting, like, another piercing in my ear.
Oh, I see.
And I know those hurt a lot too.
Huh.
So I'm like, which one is it? A lot worse than that?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm such a chicken, so yeah.
Well, speaking about pain,
oh
the
yeah.
next question is, what's the worst you've ever been physically hurt? Or, like, what's your worst injury?
Okay, so I don't want to sound like, oh my goodness, my life's been perfect. It hasn't, but like I think the closest thing that I can think of, like, actual, like, I guess physical, was my root canal that I had not too long ago that I'm not proud of. But that went, like, down south pretty bad. I actually got infected. So it was one of my front but top teeth. And so it was on my right side, and the infection was, like, not being drained. It was, like, entrapped. So it was actually swelling my face to the point where I was starting to get, like, a bubble under my eye. And so I ended up getting hospitalized for that. Well, I guess hospitalized means you stay the night, right? I didn't spend the night, because literally I got transferred from one hospital to the other, and then at night they brought in a specialist, and that guy takes out this big old needle and he injects my gums.
Talking about not liking needles.
Exactly. No, the moment he told me that that's what he had to do, I started crying. literally just, I was crying because I was already imagining how bad it was. And keep in mind, when you get dental work done, you obviously get injected because they have to numb you. And so this was a ginormous needle. And I asked him, like, obviously it was, but I asked him, I was like, is it going to hurt? Because at this point, I had already been traumatized. I had been to the dentist back to back. You know, it was just, it was such a nightmare. And I think the reason why it was so painful is because of that. Because I was so afraid of the needles, and I was just, I dislike it so much that whenever he said that when he injected it, like, my gum just, like, burst. Like, everything that all the fluid, And so it was so bad. And obviously I had the infection, I was getting fevers like around the clock. So that that whole experience, I think, was a very, like, painful. Yeah, exactly. So anytime I feel a little something in one of my teeth, I'm like, no.
Behave.
Yes. What about yours?
I just have another dentist story. It's not the actual, like, worst pain, or, like, the worst injury part, but I do have a story to, like, tell with the dentist. So I guess I metabolize, like, medications really quickly, because when I was younger, they had given me, like, something to take so they would knock me out while they were, like, fixing my teeth and stuff. But I woke up in the middle of the procedure, and they were like, what are you doing awake? I was like, hi.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so, like, I don't know what it is. It took forever to knock me out initially, and so
all over again.
Yeah, so it's the dentists are the worst. I'm sorry if you're a dentist, but you have a very scary job for everybody else.
Yeah.
But my worst injury is, you know those, like, inflatable, like, water slides that they have?
Yes.
Okay, so, actually, I have another one. We were going down one of those, and for some odd reason, I, like, went over the edge, and so, like, I flew off the water slide, and so I fell on the concrete, hit my head.
Oh my gosh!
And so they thought I had a concussion, but they didn't take me to the doctor. They were just like, don't fall asleep. I'm like, you know what? Now that I look back on it, like, things could have gone a lot worse.
Whoa.
But I think I've had a lot of head injuries, and so my memory's not great.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Next question. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would you choose? And then, this is for, like, each other. What words would you choose to describe, like, the other person or your friend?
I totally misinterpreted that word. I mean, that question, that second part.
Well, then answer it how you would.
Okay. So, you know, I've actually been asked this before, like, in college, or, like, when they try to do this, like, like, self-evaluation. And I always forget the combo of words that I choose. I think it also changes, right? As you grow older, you start to see yourself a little differently. I had a really hard time finding my third word, but I'm going to throw one in there just for the sake of, like, completing the question. So the first one I put was caring, because I do genuinely think that I am a caring person. Sometimes I feel like I do cross the line, or I say things that I may be overstepping boundaries. But, I tell my husband this all the time, like, it always comes, like, with good intentions. Like, I have been in situations where, like, I catch myself, I'm like, you definitely screwed up on this one. But it always comes with good intentions. Like, I deeply care about, like, those, like, that I'm close to, or, you know, like, friendships and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And the second word is I'm optimistic. I am definitely 100% somebody who always sees the glass half full all the time. Like, whenever I don't, it really has to be because it's, like, really gotten to me, or maybe it's, like, an off day or whatever, but I really am, like, an optimistic person. Like, this is just who I am. And then the last word, I'm just going to go in there and say that I'm funny. I'm funny. I think I am. I may not be, I think I'm corny funny, but nonetheless, if it makes you laugh, then there you go.
Then you're funny. And so I read the question wrong to you. when I was telling you right now.
Okay.
But the one I sent you was correct.
Oh, okay.
So the correct question that I was supposed to say, but I read it wrong. What words do you think your friends would choose to describe you?
All right. Okay. And
so which is that second part we're going to go for.
Right. And so in that scenario, which I think, and I don't even think I said friends, because I guess some friends probably wouldn't choose all these 3 words because they're all practically the same thing. But I think people who like barely know me or like kind of superficially meet me would probably say that I'm talkative, extrovert, and friendly. So I think that my very like bubbly personality always, I feel like, takes over like what else there is to me. Yeah. But I feel, and I'd like to think that once you get to know me, I do have like different sides of me. You know, like anybody else, right? Once you really get to know somebody. But I think that because I can be like friendly or, you know, talkative, that I feel like that would take over. Mm-hmm. Which, as a disclaimer, a lot of people think that I'm an extreme extrovert because I like will say hi to people, or like, I don't know, I guess in some social situations people are like, oh, that's obviously an extrovert. But I really am shy. I'm a shy person. And every time I tell my siblings this, they always make fun of me because they're like, sure you are. Because 2 of my siblings are introverts. So, like, they see themselves on this side of the spectrum and they see me and they're like, yeah, there's no way, you know? Yeah. But I am. Like, I'm very shy, but I think I dislike the awkward the awkward moments that I'm willing to, like, go, like, beyond, I guess, my comfort level and, like, forget it. Like, nobody's going to say hi. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to just, like, you know, do what you got to survive. But it is out of my comfort zone. Like, it's not like, you know, I don't know.
Like, because I'm an introvert, I think you're an extrovert. Uh-huh. But because I know you, like, I know you actually are, like, super shy and stuff. Yeah. You just, like, most people just don't see it.
Right. Exactly.
You hide it really well.
Wow,
which
thanks.
Is good.
Thank you. Yeah,
you're like, I can't hide it.
I just, you know, yeah, like, I feel like even, like, in college, you know, when they teach you, like, you have to network and all of that, like, I have to push myself to do it. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and it's really hard, and, like, I like to stay quiet when I can. If there's somebody else that's, like, way beyond me, that's, like, a true, like, hardcore, like, extrovert, like, all the way, compared to them, yeah, they make me look like I'm super shy, because I've been called out on it, too, where people are like, oh, you're not gonna say anything, or they think that something's wrong with me if I'm quiet, but it's like, no, like, I'm okay, I want to listen. But if you put me in a situation where I have to, like, I will. It's like my survival skill, like, kind of, like, kick in. I'm like, all right, no awkward silences. Let's get this going. Like, what's your name? What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I think what is it? I think, like, the mixture of both, it's what? Ambivert?
Is that a thing?
I think so. It's like a mixture of being an introvert and an extrovert.
Okay, well, there you go. I found my
bubble. Wrong.
What are your words?
Was that 3?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I just kind of
apparently
grouped them in there.
Oh, okay. Words I would describe myself are sarcastic, number 1. Funny. And then I didn't know what to put for the last one, so I'm just gonna put introverted because I am. Well, okay. Let me replace that with awkward. Because, like, I am awkward. I'm an awkward human being. It's fine. Like, I get it. I embrace it. I love it. It's who I am. Deal with it. Yeah. But, and then what I think other people describe me as, or what I've heard initially, people are always like, I thought you were going to be really mean when I met you. I was like, okay, that's not a compliment to say that I'm nicer now. It's just, like, you're just saying, like, you thought I was mean. And, yeah. You know. But, then I thought good listener. And the only reason I say this is because people tend to tell me a lot of things when they first meet me. And so it's just a lot. And I don't say anything because I'm awkward. I'm like, what do I say in this situation? So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stay quiet. Oh, my goodness. So I think people assume I'm a good listener. And then I don't have anything for the last one.
That's funny. Oh, what was one of the... Hold on, you just said something I was going to comment on. What were your 3 again for yourself?
Sarcastic, funny, and awkward.
Oh, okay. No, maybe it was off of that, but...
introverted.
Well, but... Okay, I'm all puzzled because I wanted to say like a bajillion things all at once. So, okay, let me comment on the first thing. So, the sarcastic thing. So, I feel like I used to be extremely sarcastic.
Yeah.
But then I think I got borderline like jerk sarcastic to the point where I think eventually I eased up on it. So now that you said that, like, kind of just reminded me of that. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say is I think it's because we've known each other since we were so young, like since we were young.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick up on the vibe of like, oh, at first, you know how you said like people say, oh, I thought you were mean. So it's like, to me, it's like it's so hard to like relate to that because it's like, no, like I don't see it, right?
Yeah, and I think because you knew me as a child.
Right. So it's like you see...
There wasn't very much of an introduction for us. It was just like, hey,
hang
out together.
Yep.
But, like, yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, like, especially in college. But I think it's because in college, like, if you saw me out on the street just walking by, I was not, like, super happy and smiling. Like, I was, like, reciting things in my head because I had to study, you know? And so my study face is not, you know, hey, nice to meet you. Mm-hmm. It's, please stay away from me. I'm busy.
Okay, gotcha.
And so, you know, those are very completely different faces. And so people would be like, you know, I thought you were going to be really mean and scary. You're not. You're actually really chill and funny. I was like, thanks.
It's like, thanks for the insult and then the compliment.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's like, okay. Okay. Next question. This is a really random one. Do you believe in ghosts?
Did we skip one?
No, did we? Yeah, we did.
Okay. Because I was looking at my answers and I put most embarrassing and then you said ghost. I'm like, that doesn't coincide.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mixed them.
Well, we can answer the ghost one first. That's fine.
Yeah.
So as soon as I read the question, I put no. But,
really?
So there's, what is it? So I believe in like those, like the spirits and stuff, like all that bad juju and all of that. But, see, now I'm questioning myself. Do I? I don't think I did. I mean, I put no really fast, so I'm going to just go with that I put no. But, like, if we're going to mess with, like, spirits and stuff, like, I'm a scaredy cat anyway. Again, people, I am a chicken. I am a chicken.
So, like, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I want to say no, because, you know, it's just like, no. But then there's the other side of me are like, well, I mean, you know, there is heaven and hell, you know, demons sometimes escape. Do you count demons technically as ghosts?
Okay,
like,
that's the word I was looking for.
Hauntings?
Yeah, that was demons. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
That one I straight up believe in. Do not mess with it. Do not bring a Ouija board anywhere near me. That is not okay.
Okay, we're good. Oh.
You're talking about it.
Yes.
But, like, I feel like if you see anything, like, happen with you, like, in your house, even if you think it's good, or you think there's some sort of haunting, I feel personally, I don't know about everybody else, but I think that's a demon.
Hey, I get chills when... Remember whenever we got scared on that camp? When we got... Yeah, okay.
When we also get together and tell ghost stories, the one I remember vividly is the Care Bear one. Okay,
nope, we're not. I'm in my closet right now. This is not okay. This could be a dark roast edition, but
Okay, yeah. If you want to listen to talk about like ghosts and spooky stuff, definitely listen to Dark Roast. If this isn't your vibe, listen to Light Roast.
Yes, please. All good and happiness.
So, long story short, belief in ghosts, no. Belief in everything else spooky, yes.
There you go.
Okay. So the next question is, what's your most embarrassing moment?
All right, so I wrote my most embarrassing moment, and this is hands down the most embarrassing. but I don't know who exactly is going to listen to this. So I don't know if the world is ready to hear my most embarrassing moments. So I'm going to...
Change names.
It's not even that. It's me. Like, it's so bad. Like, what if one of my cousins listens to this? They tell mi tia, and then mi tia tells my mom, and then my mom just starts... So I'm just going to go with a more... It's embarrassing, and this actually happened more recently. So there was somebody in my company... or ex-company, right? Who was not the friendliest, was very kind of like standoffish, right? And she wouldn't really like make eye contact with me, like almost kind of like you're beneath me kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember one time I walked into the break room and she turned around and she goes, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh my goodness, like, wow, like, times are changing, like, okay, cool." And I literally said, "Hey, I'm good." Only to see her, like, have this face of, like, okay. And I looked over my shoulder. She was not even talking to me. She was talking to my coworker. And I just turned around back because I was toasting some bread. I like eject, like, you know how you can cancel it. I grabbed my bread and I walked away. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna be avoiding you from now on. So
that happened to me. See, like, that's kind of the awkward moments where I'm like, well, I did that. Let's move on. Just be like, "Oh, sorry, I was talking on my phone. Were you trying to talk to me? No? Okay, bye." Just run away. I have a lot of embarrassing moments. The one I don't have a number one because they're all equally embarrassing and, pop into my head in the middle of the night when I should be sleeping.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The most recent one that's been, like, popping up in my head is in college. I was in lab. And so our teacher was like, "You know what? We don't have anything for today, but we still have to, like, be in class or whatever for a certain amount of time." She was like, "We'll put on a video." And he gave us the option. He was like, "Okay, we can choose this one, this one, this one." And I thought I was going to whisper this to my friend, but something just in my head didn't click, between my mind and my mouth. And I said out loud, straight to his face, "Oh, pick the shortest one." And he looked at me and was like, "Did you just say that?" I was like, "Yes." And he was just like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh no, I didn't mean it." And, like, up to that point, me and that teacher were okay. But, like, I hadn't gotten him to my good side yet.
Yeah, but that
really ruined everything of that happening. So I was like, well,
there's that.
Bye. Yeah, so.
Dang.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. It's okay.
Embarrassing.
It wouldn't have been as bad if it was, like, it was literally, like, 15 people in there. And I don't know why I thought I could whisper it.
That's funny.
So, next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be?
Okay, this one's kind of like that travel one where I kept hopping around and like, and here. So I put, if it's only for a year though, right? Because I have to say I have that Texas spirit in me. I'm content. But maybe I would like to live just for a year, maybe in Tennessee. Or Chicago, go back to where I was born and just, try that out, see how things would have been. And then I put, or maybe Italy. So I went from within the States to just like, let's just hop on over to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So, and then afterwards I put in parentheses, I don't know. So, I mean, there you go. It would be up. If you presented a good case to me, I'd be like, all right, just for a year.
Let's do that one.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of the same thing where I'm like, I'm not sure because Texas, but I did live in Florida for, like, college.
Oh, that is true. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm used to not being in Texas all the time, and, like, it kind of sucks, but, you know, I could live with it for a year.
Yeah.
But if I were to choose, like, within the U.S., it would be Colorado.
Oh,
So I visited up there for, like, 2 weeks. So, like,
yeah. I
so
forgot about that.
It's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
But if it's, like, anywhere, you know, in the world, obviously, it would have to be London.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I just need to go there, so my weird obsession with it just was done and over with.
That's funny.
Okay. Next question is, what do you hope to achieve by 50?
I think really for me, and I've always said this, like, even when I was in high school and they say, oh, where do you hope to be, like, after college or, like, in 5-10 years or whatever. I think in the end, like, I truly want to feel, like, content where I'm at. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm always chasing, like, something, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to, and like, always enjoy, like, every phase in life that I'm in. So, like, for example, like, I mean, I recently got laid off, so I'm obviously in a place where, like, I have, like, oh, okay, what's going to be my next step? Like, in which direction am I going to go? You know? And, you know, instead of stressing out about it, you obviously put yourself in, like, this is exciting, because it's like, okay, now here's my next step. Here's, like, where my journey is going to take me. And so ultimately, wherever I do end up, like, by 50, the hope is, like, either I've moved up maybe in my job, in my career. I'm just at a place where, like, I'm always learning. I'm continuously still at a place where I'm like, wow, like, I'm still learning. I'm still passionate about what I'm doing. Obviously I want kids, so I love, you know, by 50 to be able to, you know, our family grown and all of that. So it's just, I think for me, it's that sense of, like, appreciating where I came from, where I've been, kind of where I'm at now, and just kind of, like, feeling that sense of, like, yeah, like, the contentment that I did it kind of thing. But there's more, you know?
Like, if we're talking about career-wise, the only thing I would really want is to have a doctorate by the time I'm 50, you know? So I got a few years. Yeah, I want a PhD. That's
cool. Go for it.
Yeah, it's just, it's a lot of work. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But hopefully by the time I'm 50, I'll have achieved that. So I got a good 30 years.
Okay.
And then if we're talking about, like, just life in general, hopefully by then I get married. Hopefully, who knows? And then, like, I've always wanted to do this thing where I buy, like, this huge plot of land.
Oh, you did mention that to me.
Yeah. And so, like, I want to, like, part of the land, like, half of it, it'll be, like a venue for, like, weddings and events and stuff. So that's a little bit of income coming in. And then I literally just want to buy, like, have a whole ranch with all these, like, animals just running around everywhere. Yeah. So.
That's awesome. Invite me, okay? I'll bring my kids.
I'll build a little house for you in the back.
Okay.
So you guys can stay there for a week.
It'll be their summer...
Their summer home.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, we're going with Tia Carolina, so strap up your boots.
I'll put them to work.
Okay, that too. Cool.
Next question. We're talking about me hopefully getting married. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done on a date?
So, funny enough, I actually had to ask my husband. I was like, hey, what's the weirdest thing I've done? And luckily for me, he couldn't think of anything from the top of his head. And then I guess if we're going to say the weirdest thing was maybe that I farted. That I didn't, I mean, look, to each their own. Every relationship is different. Every person is different. I was never one to, like, I guess, hide that or to be like, oh my goodness, you know, I obviously wasn't, like, rude about it or just, like, farting all over the place. Just letting them rip. Exactly. But, like, I guess in this situation, like, it did slip. Like, it happens. Like, you know, I was just kind of one of those, like, okay, this is obviously seriously. I want to marry the guy, so we're eventually going to live together. So why is it going to be to his surprise? Oh my goodness, you fart? Yeah, everybody does, you know? So I think that was like the weirdest thing, which of course, like when it happened, like I couldn't stop laughing because it was obviously embarrassing at the moment, but it was also like really funny that like he didn't, like, I guess his reaction too, because he didn't even like, you know, I guess some people are like, oh, did you, but his was just like, he was amused by it, like did you seriously, like, you know, I don't know, it was cute, but
it all depends on how the other person reacts.
Exactly, that's another thing too.
You don't need to be embarrassed about it. I mean, sometimes it is if you know, you weren't expecting it.
Right.
But, yeah, it all just depends on how the other person reacts. And luckily, he wasn't like, oh, you're nasty. Mm-hmm. So.
And even if he would have said that, it would have been probably very playful because, you know.
Yeah.
But not in the sense of, like, literally where I feel like.
Like, disgusting.
Uh-huh, exactly.
Yeah, that would have been the worst thing ever. So, mine was a blind date. Like, it was set up. Like, it was an ambush, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Because I had told my friend, she was like, oh, do you want to get lunch with me and my boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so she didn't tell me that they were inviting her boyfriend's roommate to come eat with us.
Oh, okay.
And so, literally, like, as we were getting there, because I had ordered my food and everything, I was like, oh, you know, I'm hungry. Let me get my food.
Yeah.
And so, I get there, or like, we start walking there. She's like, oh, by the way, so-and-so's coming. This is a date. Get ready. I was like, why did you tell me this before? Like,
oh, man.
Looked a little nicer. I mean, thankfully, it was, like, between Sunday services, so I looked decently nice.
Uh-huh.
But, like, she didn't tell me. I was like, I don't know how to mentally prepare for this. Like, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And so, because I wasn't prepared for it, when they got, like, they brought us the food, we started eating, I kind of just was like, hey, how's it going? And then started eating my food. And so I really liked, it was the Vietnamese sandwich, the banh mi.
Oh, yeah.
I really like those. And it was like an entire foot one, like, it was almost like a foot long sandwich, right?
Wow.
And I was hungry, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to eat this. I'm going to go for it. So I ate the whole thing. Uh-huh. And I was like, I'm pretty sure he's just, like, so surprised. He's just, like, watching me eat this thing, like, is she still going? I was like...
It'd be like,
no.
Don't judge.
I was like... and I finished my sandwich. I was like, okay, bye. And I got up and left.
Oh.
Like, you know, if she would have just told me...
Yeah.
You know, this is a date. Get ready, you know.
With time.
Ahead of time. I wouldn't have been, like, so secluded and just, like, involved in my sandwich.
True. But then maybe you wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I would have been distracted.
Yeah. So
yeah, the guy was okay. So whatever. I didn't miss out on everything. So it wasn't entirely weird, but it was not my proudest moment on date.
At least
next question.
Sorry, I was gonna say at least the food was good.
Yeah, at least that was good.
Yeah.
Where was I? Oh, would you rather go to space or to the bottom of the ocean?
Bottom of the ocean.
Really? Why?
It's just, I don't know. Again, I don't want to offend anybody who's listening, but I'm not that intrigued by space. Like, I know people get so, like, over the top about there has to be more. There has to be. It's a space, and this is just one small Earth amongst everything else. And I'm thinking, I mean, even if there is, are you gonna go live over there? No. So, like, I guess on the sciencey side of it, because I don't have that interest, like, I can understand, like, you know, people who are, like, super into science and, like, want to, like, explore that. That's one thing. But if there people who are, like, so fixated on it, there has to be more, there has to be, okay, but what if there is and what if there isn't? What difference does it make to your daily life, to your daily goals, to what you're trying to achieve in life? Nothing. So what good does it come from, like, not being able to go to sleep by thinking, is there or is there not? Once the aliens come say hi to you, which they probably don't even want to say hi to you, then we can start all freaking out and worrying about it. But until then, I just don't see the point. So I think, to me, I feel like the bottom of the ocean is one of more of those, like, things, like, I mean, it's the bottom of the ocean. So there's, like, all these creatures, maybe all these things. More so, let's just go scuba diving. That's more of the thing, you know? So, I don't know. That's just my thought process.
Yeah, I would rather go to space.
Okay.
Like 100%, hands down, 100% would go to space. Because, I don't know, the ocean just kind of freaks me out. I don't know why. It's that thing about, it's just creepy.
Yeah.
Because one, I don't know what's down there.
Right.
Two, this is real dark. I'm not saying I'm scared of the dark.
Right.
But don't know what's down there and it's dark. Not a great combination. So. But I think space, it's kind of like you're going up there and seeing the entirety of, like, what is the world. Something not very many people have ever seen in real life. And it's just that idea of being so small that even though you feel insignificant, you know you're not, because everybody's life has meaning. And it's kind of seeing how there is a greater purpose to everything. And even though you're so small, you do have a purpose in life. And it's just kind of like this weird, like, I can't speak. What's the word I'm trying to say? Existential.
Okay.
Like feeling. And so I think that'd be a great thing to kind of, like, see and feel. Plus,
well, you made it very inspiring.
Thank you. Have I convinced you to go to space?
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Not to explore to the extent of some of these people, but enough to, you can take me up on a trip.
I mean, I don't.
Still getting interrupted by my mama, but that's okay. Moving on.
Next question is, oh wait, hold on. Have you ever questioned your beliefs and why?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, well, I don't know if I could get in trouble for what I'm going to say, but I think to some point, and this is explaining the reason why I did. I think at some point it's important to find out why you believe in what you believe in. And is it because other people tell you so or because you believe it? Like, at some point, finding yourself and saying, like, this is something, so I teach at church, right? The 6th grade girls. And this is something I tell them all the time. Like, I think when you're in growing up, obviously, in a Christian home, like, when you are used to that, you know, and as a young kid, that's, like, all you know, it's so important to get to a certain point where you realize this is not my parents' God. Like, he has to become your God. And you have to establish that personal relationship, so then you can then get to the point where you say, am I believing this because it's been drilled in me, or am I believing it because I've established that personal relationship and now I know where I'm at with it? You have to come to terms and come to peace to what you believe in. And I guess that also falls in, like, what your personal convictions are, so that you can, you know, then live the rest of your life in a place where no matter, because you're going to get thrown so many facts and ideas and theories and theologies and just all these different things. But at a certain point, you have to tell yourself, I've come to terms with what I believe in. Not because my parents said it, not because my pastor said it, not because my Sunday school teacher said it. It's because I personally believe in this. And, you know, so at a certain point I did, but it was that kind of like that, I guess, light bulb or light switch moment where you're like, okay, I have to take on what I believe now, because my parents did their job. You know, they took us to church and, you know, you're learning and everything. But after a certain point, you tell yourself, am I going to continue going? Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of have to question a little bit to then tell yourself, like, you have to be able to see God in your own life and see it just kind of all play out. And, you know, it's just, I guess, overly spiritual for some people, but in reality, I think it's important that you come to face with that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I honestly, like, 100% believe that you have to question what you believe and why. Because if you're just, like, taking it as a face value, like, oh, I believe this because my parents believe this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, what does that have anything to do with you? If your parents hadn't believed that, would you even be where you are today?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of that thing. But I questioned it, like, for a really long time because I was in, like, in a really dark place. And so I was, like, kind of going back to what I was talking about in space, where I was, like, I'm so small, it's so little. Like, I was like, how can God see me as like this little tiny thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that light switch. I heard one message and it, like, literally changed. I was like, you know what? How could I be thinking that because I'm one person out of all these people in this world,
mm-hmm.
that I don't have meaning? It was kind of like that, like, yeah, I do. I'm here. I have, you know, I take up space. God knows me by my name. He knows the hair on my head. So you have to question it to realize, yes. So.
And it even gives it, like, a greater meaning. And I think, back to the thing, like, when you have that personal relationship, everything that then moving forward happens in your life, you value it. Or even it's kind of like when things don't, you know how they say, like, oh, when things don't go good, then everyone's blaming God, like, why God? Yeah. But when you've established a relationship with him, it's almost as if, like, how dare you ask why? You're already at this point that you do know, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's when faith comes in, and that's where, you know, I guess some people may have that struggle with it, but that's where faith comes in, and you say, you know what, I don't see it, I don't see the next step, but he does. So I mean, if this is what you think is best for me, this is what you think is best for me, and you keep the ball rolling.
So yeah, that got real deep real quick. Next question.
Yes.
Not as deep. What do you collect that no one knows about?
I used to collect water bottles in, like, really cool shapes. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about, like, the Ozarka ones or, like, Nestle or anything like that, but, like, the Voss, or they had, like, I don't know, if you go to World Market especially, you'll find some really cool ones. So I actually used to collect them, and then I got to a point where my mom was like, this is trash. so I got in trouble for collecting them. So eventually I gave up on it.
For me, it was stamps, but not like stamps that, you know, you buy, like, at the store or whatever. It was, I worked at this company where we got mail from, like, all over the world. And so I don't know if this was illegal, but I never reused the stamps. I would literally, like, cut out cool ones I saw, so, like, from other countries, or from, you know, I have one with the queen on it, and I was like, that's the coolest one, like, you know, this is amazing. It's like I cut it out and, like, put it in a little box.
Nice.
And so I collect stamps, but, like,
you still do?
Have no value. No, I don't really get any mail.
Oh, okay.
Or anywhere cool. So I have a nice little, like, tin box of them.
Nice.
I can show you sometime.
Okay.
The next one is, what's the strangest dream you've ever had?
Okay. If you know me, I have weird dreams. I have so many. Like, my answer is a ton. So many. I have a lot. Almost every day, I have weird dreams, and they make no sense sometimes. And sometimes I dream about people who I have not talked to in years, and then they play a really weird part in my dream, and it's like, okay. Do you have a specific one?
Yeah. So when I was younger, I don't know how old I was, but I had this dream where Freddy Krueger killed my mom. And so this whole dream played out like a movie. Like, he did that. Like, I was at my mom's grave, and I was like, I'm gonna get revenge, you know? And so, like, I spent my life hunting down Freddy Krueger.
Oh my gosh.
And so I don't know what happened. Like, I honestly don't know what happened. Because I woke up and, like, I ran to my mom. I was like, you're not dead.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure that was, like, a really random thing for her to be like, what just happened? But yeah, that's the strangest dream I've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
And so our last question is, if you could meet and interview anyone, who would it be and why?
So I think if I could, I would make a long list, because obviously there's just so many interesting people to interview.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna go with, like, in the past, like way back. I always tell people that I would be very interested in interviewing Job from the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's so many inspiring, people in the Bible. But I think his story has always struck me, like, I guess just to talk to him and be like, like, really, like, I guess understanding, like how, or like just his whole life, and just how he was very, again, kind of going back what we were talking about, like having that faith and just like really not questioning it, no matter how just to lose everything. And then I guess that also just kind of like really reinforces, like, also the importance of, when you focus on the materialistic things, like that stuff can come and go any day, any day. But there are other things with much more value that, sometimes we need to, I guess, realize, like, what are you focusing on the wrong things? But yeah, I think that would be one of the people that I would really, really like to interview.
Oh. No, I didn't even think about anybody in the biblical setting.
No. Who'd you put?
Now that I think about it, I'm like, but I've always had this weird, I don't know, like, I've always read the not memoirs, like, books about Abraham Lincoln. Mm-hmm. For, like, I don't know why, but, like, I've always just been interested in his story, and so I've always, like, would want to, like, ask him questions, like, if I could, like, get him, like, after, like, he knew what happened in his death, because he, like, had dreams about dying, like, getting shot and, like, dying in the theater and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, I would want to, like, ask him, like, how was that, knowing that could be a possibility? Like, how did you just, like, like, I want to know everything.
Gotcha.
So.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. It's, like, a random thing. But, I mean, it's, like, Abraham Lincoln. He's cool.
Yeah. At least we're going to assume he is.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, in my mind, he is right now.
That's cool. Well, I mean, that was fun. We really got to, we literally did. We went all over the place, from deep stuff to very funny and embarrassing, just all over the place. Mm-hmm. So, you guys just let us know what you thought about this episode. And again, yay, 10th episode. And we'll see you for the next one with more interesting, fun facts on.
Yes, but not about us.
But not about us. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for tuning in.
Mm-hmm. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.